Welcome back to the Shipyard. Today, top 10 Borg ships. Plain and simple. Borg are a faction that now finally have a decent number of named ships. I am keeping this to named ships only. The generic Sphere is fantastic. The generic Octahedron's pretty good. Some of the generic assimilated ships are at least playable. But I'm keeping this to named ships because I want to compare named abilities. So with that in mind, let's jump in here to number 10 and go from there. So, my number 10, Assimilation Target Prime discount version. This one, first off, you don't pay a faction penalty for cards equipped to this ship. That's a big plus. And you've got 2 crew, a weapon, and a tech, plus a captain, where you might go off faction, and that captain could go elite talent. Crew could conceivably go elite talent. Admiral. This says do not pay a faction penalty for cards. That means you can go off faction Admiral. Save 3 points. You can put whatever Admiral you want on this ship, and you're saving points. So consider that when you're thinking about ships. I know I just did, and maybe that makes this better. I don't know. All right, number 9. Number 9 is a sphere, and it's a sphere that I really like. Obviously, I don't think it would be on this list if I didn't. But it's Borg Sphere 4270, and I think that this ship has some pretty good potential. It's a named sphere, of course, but more than that, it is a sphere that lets you split up your attack. And if you watched my playthrough of the Horde, I have to emphasize the D there, there are times where you only want to attack a ship for a little bit of damage, and then you wouldn't mind putting a little bit more on another ship. So just with that in mind, really, it's worth considering. And with a card like Technological Distinctiveness, where you get to add dice and have consistent addition of dice, having potentially 9 dice to split up, the Borg Sphere is pretty good. Now, if you're thinking and you're going, well, boy, those first 2 ships sounded pretty good. What could possibly be next? What's left on your list? Well, you know what? I give you something kind of fun. I give you the Assimilated Galler class. Now, maybe you can make an argument that this shouldn't be number 8, that this should be a little lower, 9, 10. But you know what? I like the ship. When defending, during the declare target step, you can spend a drone token to set one of your defense dice. Now, you spend a drone, get a evade. Okay, why? I mean, it's an addition to taking an evade action, but more so, this is a 180 arc ship, so you're not losing a ton, right? You still have the advantage of range 3 built in, so meg charges on this is not a total loss. I mean, yes, going from 5 dice down hurts, so probably don't do that. But the ship comes with regenerate. It's got crew, double weapon, tech, Borg slot. Again, it's not my favorite ship. All truth be told, it's probably more number 10. But, you know what? I still like it. I still think it has good potential. And I've seen it come runner-up in a regional event. Maybe that was the generic. But it's an interesting ability. Okay, number 7. Number 7 is the first iteration of this named ship, and that's because it's a queen vessel. And sorry, I am checking my notes to make sure I give you the correct named ship at the correct time. So, it's this Queen Vessel Prime. During the combat phase, you can, your ship or a friendly ship can spend a scan token from beside this ship to get an extra attack die. This is one of the early support ships that then boosted attack, and it's a nice ability for an extra scan, or rather, it's an extra way that scan gets used, and that's different. You see, one of the theories with this ship is that you attack early. You get a high captain skill on the Queen Vessel Prime, right? You run a Janeway, a Locutus, a Borg Queen on the Queen Vessel Prime. You make your attack, you benefit from your scan. Now, another ship comes along and uses the ability to burn the scan, get an extra attack die, and now that scan token has done 2 different things, and that is a win-win. Plus, that second ship has more quality, at least in theory. So that is the hope, at least the presumed hope. All right, number 6. Sorry. Number 6 is the first Scout Cube on my list. I know, spoilers that I'm telling you that it's the first. But, you know what? I like this one. I didn't think I liked it the first time I saw it, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. This is Scout 609, and this is the repair Scout Cube. You target a friendly ship, you repair a shield and a hull on the target ship. Now, do you have to do both? No. You just have to be able to do one or the other. Mostly you just have to be able to target a ship to do a repair. And that's a nice thing, right? This is truly a support vessel. And those are rare in this game. So now that I've completely bottled that, let's go talk about number 5. Yes, number 5. All right, number 5 is the other Queen Vessel that we didn't talk about. The other octahedron. And this is just in phase, add a drone token to the captain equipped to this ship. So, great place to use something that uses drones every round. Target lock tactical drone, a Borg Queen, the feedback skill 2 tactical drone, right? Your captain's skill gets lowered and then comes right back up. Down, up, down, up. And that process is not bad. It's not bad at all. Because you keep using stuff. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Even if you have to use multiple drones and then this doesn't bring you all the way back, it still brings you part of the way back. And I'm okay with that. All right. Number 4. Number 4 is, well, a cube. And it's one of those giant cubes because giant cubes are fun. Giant cubes are messy. This is cube 384 because I wouldn't choose the other cube. That cube is way too expensive. Nobody's paying 80 points to run any ship. Please errata that other ship to be 52 points because I like the named ability on that better, but I'm not going to pay 80 points, and so obviously it's not very good. This one, your shields cannot be affected by upgrades from an opponent's fleet. Okay, cool. That means you can't projected stasis me, you can't do anything that affects my shields in any way, shape, or form, and I'm okay with that. I know I just said that, I know I've been saying that, but this isn't fantastic. Most of the time, I'm not going to run the named version of this. I'll run the generic version of it and save 2 points. But 20 durability is a pretty daunting number. I like it. I like what this offers, and I'm down with it. I really think that there is something here. So, that all being said, number 3. Number 3 is the other sphere that I like. And, yeah, I only like 2 of the spheres. And that is sphere 634. This is the new sphere that came out in the Borg faction pack. So, you know what? A lot of Borg faction pack stuff showing up here. We got the Scout Cube, we got the Sphere, we got the Assimilation Target Prime, and spoiler, Voyager's coming. Yeah, so I think that means every named ship in the Borg faction pack is showing up here, or will show up. So this Sphere combat phase spend a scan token. So hey, another way to utilize scan. The Borg are kind of making use of scan. Scout 255 makes use of scans. That ship is not on this list, but it was a contender. Yeah, never a super serious contender. I mean, when the assimilated Brel doesn't make the list, that's just because the named ability is bad. The generic's actually a pretty good one. But yeah. Suspend a scan, targeted an opposing ship, and then discard a scan battle station evade or target lock token beside the target ship. So really, you are trading your scan for them not getting an action. And again, I'm on board with that. It's a very supportive ability. You get to react to it because you get to do this at the start of the combat phase, and you get to say, okay, now that I know what your ship's doing, right? Are they offensive? Are they defensive? What are they trying to do? Now I get to say, no, you don't get that. Most of the time, they're only going to have one action token to mess with, so you probably just want to get rid of that. But a lot of times, they might have 2, running Picard or Ducat or anything that gives that bonus action, right? Ferengi Captain with Gold Press Latinum, they're probably going to have a battle station token, and you might want to just get rid of that because it's going to help or reduce their quality, which improves your chance at living. And that is worth a whole lot. All right. Well, I couldn't do this list if I didn't put Joseph's ship on the list. So my number 2 is Scout 608. Now, I already hear some people, Paul especially, going, Scout 608 is overhyped and nobody uses it correctly. Well, Scout 608 is one of those ships that you have to learn how to fly, to steal from Firefly. Scout 608 is a leaf on the wind, and I'm sorry if that is too soon, and prepare for the spear to stab me right about now. Yeah, okay. So, what does 608 actually do? After you move, discard one of your upgrades, any one of your upgrades. Captured, Sakona. Those 1-point crew that you really don't care about. Yeah, those you can get rid of those. Those free weapons that you didn't care about. Yep. Exactly those. All right. To perform an additional green or white maneuver. Guess what? The Scout is super maneuverable and has a ton of green or white maneuvers. And it doesn't matter that you can't deploy a Borg upgrade with a cost greater than 5 to this ship. Really, this ship is all about do more, move more, be less predictable, because the Borg are super predictable. They're moving up, forward, or backwards every round, and then they spin at the end. Well, guess what? Now you can do a 2 spin, and then you can do a 3 straight or a 3 backwards. So now instead of all your moves being y-axis moves, now you've got night movement back. You can move not just like a rook, a chess rook, right? You don't have to move just forward, back, left, right. You have forward and right, forward and left. Back doesn't spin. But you get the idea. You've got some extra potential in your movements now. You're still somewhat predictable, so this doesn't totally break the schema of the game, but it helps. And in a game that is all about predicting where your opponent's going to be so that you have a firing solution on them and they don't have one on you, Scout 608 is still the best ship at doing that. Now, that doesn't make it the best ship in the game, but it makes it the best ship at doing something. Okay, now that I've got that all off of my chest, Scout 608 still has a definitive place in this meta, and it probably always will. So seriously, if you don't fly, if you want practice flying, fly the Scout 608. Fly it well. Throw a ton of upgrades on there. Don't worry about costing them. Just throw a ton of upgrades on there and figure out how to fly it. All right. My number one, you already know what it is. I talked about it in the video. It's U.S.S. Voyager. It's the Borgified Voyager. And yeah, it's if you performed a green maneuver this game around, you get a free target lock. Well, now you can get a free battle station. There's an upgrade that says if you do a target lock, then you get a free battle station token. So now you're doing a green maneuver, you're getting a battle station, you're getting a target lock out of all of this, and you still have actions. Plus, it's got a really nice stat bar. Yeah, it's only a 90-90 arc. You can overcome that. The ship has 10 durability, plus it has defense dice, 5 attack, which makes it really nice, really potent. There is a lot to like about the Borgified Voyager. All right. I still have not fully fleshed it out. I have not maximized the potential of the Borgified Voyager, but I know it's out there, and I know this is a fantastic ship. And it will maintain being a fantastic ship for a very long time, because there's not a ton that deals with the Borg well. So, yeah. So those are my top 10 Borg ships. Did I miss something? Did I miss a named ship? I know the generic Borels, and people will complain about those, but honestly, the Ferengi Borels are so much cheaper, and I'll suffer one less attack die for those to save the points. I'd rather swarm those. And Borg don't get that same discount because they do not share the same ship stats. So that's one of those big differences. And yeah, I will defend Voyager and Scout 608 being the top 2 Borg ships for a very long time. You can swap the order. You can put Scout 608 ahead of Voyager, and I won't complain to you. But you try to toss something else way up there, I think I might have fighting words for you. I say that in jest. Of course, everybody has their own opinions, but yeah, there's some really good Borg ships, but those 2 really stick out as some of the top ships out there. And of course, Generic spheres in general are a force to be reckoned with. I will never deny the power of spheres. They have been good since the day they came out. They have never not been good, even once the nerf hit. The nerf brought them back into the fold, but it has not actually taken them out of competitive meta. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Borg ships. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.